Welcome gamers to Untamed Tactics. My name is DasTactic. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to this particular episode. We're going to be looking at this game, which is coming out pretty much at the time that I actually released this particular video, because this is actually sponsored content. So I do want to actually thank the developer, which is Grumpy Owl Games, and also the publisher, which is Ravenge Games. So thanks for the sponsorship of this particular video, guys. Very much appreciated. Also, I will actually point out, if you are wanting to look at the game, just to get a bit of a feel for it, there is a link up in the top corner, up there, and also down in the description. So one of the two, you sort of grab on, just click on that link and you'll be then taken to the actual game itself, like the Steam page for the game, and you can then sort of see if it's a game that you like. Now, let's just get a few little things out of the way. There is a board game that came out a few years ago called Untamed Feral Factions, and this is sort of like it's not a remake of that board game, but it's like a follow-on, in a computer game fashion of where that particular board game was. Now, I've never played the board game, just as a point of disclosure, but by all accounts, it was a fairly popular game. I think it still is fairly popular from what I could sort of see with the ratings. People did actually like playing that particular game. That was more of a card-driven game. This is very much a tactical-driven game, so hence the word tactics in the title. So anyway, that just gets that bit of it out of the way. I'm going to skip past all tutorial content, but I'm going to try to sort of show you the game mechanics, just so you can sort of get used to what's actually in the game itself. I haven't been able to get too far into the game, and I'll show you those bits that I haven't been able to reach just yet. So we'll just go into new game. And when we get into the main story area, the story revolves around a character called Greycoat, back and through this other side. Now, there's going to be other little things you can click on, like the Hall of Wisdom, reflect on the past, learn from it. We've got characters like story-driven characters down through here, and then your difficulty settings back up and through this other side over here as well. So when you click on them, you choose what you want, and then just close what you actually want in there. Back up and through here. This is actually where you get unlocks. So once per run, you may re-roll an encounter reward. And so this gives you replayability, essentially, as you sort of start to go through the actual game itself. So it looks like we can actually choose one of these right now, actually. Let's go to Rune Slot. I don't know if we can do that one. Have we got that one? I think we have. Okay, so we'll close that one. Did we choose that? I did click on it, but I don't know if it remembered it. Anyway, we'll find out. Maybe I don't think I've gone far enough to actually unlock those just yet. There is replay value to the game, and I will actually show you this one in here when we click on the actual character. So Greycoat is the main protagonist, essentially, of the story. You're sort of playing along with his adventures. Now, you've got a campaign adventure where this is the only thing we've got unlocked at this particular point in time. So we can actually play a campaign chapter, or we can play an adventure mode, but I haven't got this one unlocked at this stage. So play through a procedural tale filled with unique battles and events. Now, I wish I could show you this. I did actually ask the developers if there was a way for me to do it, but I have to get this video out because the game is launching, and I didn't actually get the answer back yet. So I'm just going to have to show you the campaign. But anyway, that will be of interest to, well, particularly to me, but it may be to you as well, like the fact that there is actually a procedural, story-driven sort of way of playing the game as well. This is more scripted, but still actually has some decision making that you can do so that the game will play a little bit differently each time you actually play it. I've started this campaign a fair few times just to get a feel for the game itself. So hopefully this will actually be helpful to you guys. So we'll play a campaign chapter. There we go, new adventures. And so we actually have at the start, there's two other characters we could actually unlock, and each character that we actually have, if we go and click on, say, Greycoat, there is actually 3 different classes we can have. Now, we've got the soldier for Greycoat, we have a biologist for Greycoat as well, and then we have a locked version in through here as well, which I don't know what that actually is. When we have a look at this, we also then see a few different things back over the other side here. We have, like, essentially an attack, so each point increases damage and healing by 1. We've got defense, so each point decreases damage taken by 1. We actually have speed, so it determines the turn order, where a higher value means the character acts faster. And this can change during the battle as well, by the way. This is the movement points that they actually have. The critical hit chance, so 22 and through there. So chance to inflict a more powerful strike or heal when using an ability. We then actually have critical damage, so increases the damage done by critical hits. And then we actually have dodge, so grants a chance to avoid attacks completely. We've got a 0 on that particular one. This is our hit points back up through here. So this is the 90. In fact, I might just go back to the soldier. The soldier, you see that this won't change much, but the abilities will change depending on the class that I choose. So view the parlay cards. Now, during the battle, there's like a parlay meter that starts to sort of fill up as you play the actual battle itself, like the tactical battle. But then there is a card component of it with the parlay cards. And so when the parlay meter is charged in battle, the parlay is used by this character. 3 random cards are chosen from the deck. And so these are the different cards. Now, just 3 of the 5 will be randomly chosen. You then have to choose which one you're going to play. And so it's a little bit like if you've played the Monkey Island games, it's a little bit like when Guybrush had to do his fighting and then every so often would have to then sort of say a cutting comment or something like that. It's a little bit like that. Not really, it's just a way to use the cards, I guess. Anyway, the game is not really a card-driven game, so just be aware of that. There is this one little aspect, though, about it. The abilities that we have, these are the actual abilities that we can then go and do, and they actually have essentially like an action point cost. So push takes up 0, 3 for the commanding shout, 2 for first aid where you heal yourself up, and aim and shoot, which is just 1 action point. And so you can keep on playing while you've got action points in your turn. You can do different things, like move, do whatever else you need to do. So there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing different things, depending on what you're actually then doing. We do have a reaction, so enact your vengeance upon those foolish enough to attack you, applying high torment. This one actually will then do, the rebuttal is, again, a Guybrush Threepwood from Monkey Island. It's sort of like a statement that he sort of yells back to insult the other person to increase their torment. There are a number of different aspects. You do actually have... It's not just these that you see through here. I'll have to show you in game. There's 4 different aspects that actually affects the player. There's 4 different types of damage, like magical, mental, physical, and I forget what the other one is. Spirit, but I'm thinking that's probably the same sort of thing as mental, but I'm not exactly sure. Anyway. The runes, we've got a close encounter. So every time you hit from range 4 or less by an enemy, increase movement by 1. So this is actually one of our special little runes that we actually have. Now you can apply and change the runes during the run. So the game really does adapt very quickly to the way that you do play. So just be aware, each character has these. I find the soldier is a really, really good balanced character to go in with. Let's go in with Mortimer next. Mortimer is an alchemist or a doctor. And so I find that the doctor is good if you are near the other characters. If you're not, he doesn't really get any sort of damaging attacks. So he's more of a support character. So the alchemist is probably the easiest one to start with. And then we'll just go in with Lynn, who is our thief. Now, you can either have the thief in through here, or you can go in with the assassin. I think we might just choose the assassin for this particular run. And again, you've got different runes in through here. So there's different aspects as you play the game, and I don't want to get too caught up in the min-maxing of different things that you can then go and do, but they all have different abilities that you can then chop and change through the actual course of the game. Let's start the game.
Storm raged across the deck of the ship. The sound of the shattering mast almost drowned out by the pouring rain and howling.
It's got good voice acting.
As I shouted orders at Lynn to prepare the lifeboat, a massive wave crashed into the bow, causing me to lose my footing. I tumbled into the ice-cold water and was certain that this was the end. I would later learn how wrong I was, as this was only the beginning of an unimaginable journey. When I opened my eyes, I realized I had not yet made it to the afterlife, and woke up on a mysterious shore. Dazed, I stared into the dense jungles of what could only be Stranglevine Ridge. I leapt up and started searching for my allies.
Right, now, this is like the tutorial. I'm just going to skip past all of the tutorial content, and I will actually play it out, but I'm not going to get caught up in the in the actual story of the game itself. What I think I'll actually do is focus more on the actual tactical aspect and less on the story aspect. I don't like doing walkthroughs because I like you to be able to discover that for yourselves. So this first bit of it is scripted, so it will be pretty much the same each time. Let's just skip that one completely.
Shipwrecked and distraught, I scoured the sand.
I'll just get rid of that one. So this is where we get to move. Now we've got reaction in through this other side. So we've got, like, again, if we hover over any of the characters, like if I do a tab, it will then come up with the various aspects. There we go. We've got physical, magical, mental, and then push abilities back in the way it sort of does work. And again, with this selected, I can then sort of go across. So physical is resistance against physical damage. Magical is resistance against magical damage. Mental is resistance against mental damage. And then push is susceptibility to being pushing up and pulling. Back in through there, you saw there before we actually had the 12, the 6 defense, 3 speed at this case, the 4 movement. So this is actually almost like our initiative. When we come back through, if I go and hover over, for example, Lynn, and this one is selected. I'm going to have to play this one out, I think. Can I hover over Lynn? No, I can't actually yet. This is the enemy that we have to then go and do. Let's go and free Mortimer. We're just going to go around the corner here. Now we've got. So all we do here is just go and click on Mortimer, unlock Mortimer. So Mortimer then goes to the back end. So we'll skip all of this message in through this other side. And we'll just end our turn now for Greycoat. So it's still Greycoat's turn. Then we have Lynn in this instance. Now, I don't want to get too close to this character. You can sort of see that it can actually reach there and into there and across into there. So I think it can actually reach... You can certainly reach to there anyway. So let's just go and move down a little bit closer down this way. Just get our characters together. We'll end our turn. Oh, this one can actually go a little bit further. So it's got hit and dodge. Now it's Mortimer's turn. And Mortimer, you can see, has got like the speed of 4 in this instance. So let's just move across. Now, each of the actual items that you've then got, you've got, like, for example, Bottle Terror, which will toss a potion of liquid terror that deals 19 to 25 magical damage and inflicts torment. So if we have a bit of a look at this, if we hover over, do we get, this is Bonefang. If I hover over Bonefang, I can then see what they've got. And so this one is weak to magical attacks. So its resistance against magical is weak. Its physical is neutral, and the mental is also weak. It's got 11 attacks, so it's reasonably strong. It's got a lot of defense that it can then apply, and 66 hit points. So let's go across, and how far that one can actually has got a casting range of 3. Now what I want to do is I want to get out of the way so that we can actually do this one. But this one here, when I hover over that, we can see there that it really will sort of hit nearly anything. So let's just go across to here, which should then give me what I need. And so I'm going to now throw this one out. This one's going to deal 7 to 13 magical damage. If I went with one of the other ones, like, for example, that's Bottled Terror, but if I went with Viscosium, that one doesn't do any real damage. This one does 18 to 22, so not quite as much. 50%. We can apply poison to him, though. So see, it's only 6 to 10 damage there. I'm better off going the other way. So let's just go with Bottled Terror. A little bit more damage. Bang. Critical hit because it was weak with what he actually had. Now he has a reaction when we're close by. So his reaction, and this is where we should actually double check the characters to sort of see what their reaction actually is. And so he has a raging blow to everything around him. Deals 15 to 20 damage around itself. And so that was what actually happened in through there. This one now is suffering torment, so deals low mental damage each turn and decreases defense by 25%. So its defense has now gone down a little bit more. So it's actually now with the torment, damage is increased per stack. You can see that there's actually layers upon layers of complexity in the game. So it's not a simple game, but it's not a difficult game either. It's sort of one of these games that is difficult to master but easy to play, which is great. And this is why I really appreciate and like games. Not that this one is based on a board game, but it's got the board game feel about it, and that's actually, for me, it means you're in it with a very, very pure game to then go and cover and play. And so this has got depth, it's got detail. If you're wanting to get into it, you don't have to. I should also point out, by the way, this game is probably not really suitable for young children, even though it may look like it. For me, it's probably more of a PG-13. Like, there are some, there's some, like, the characters don't die as such, but it's still, I think that, it's probably a little bit more grown up than it may appear. I thought I'd just point that out as well. But you can see there is complexity with the way the game actually does sort of then go and work with different things. So just press tab again just to release that. So each of our characters, when I do press tab, it does come up like close encounter. Each time you hit from range 4 or less, you increase your own movement. So each of these are going to have their own aspect. This is Death Whispers when damaging poisoned attacks, inflict bleeding as well, so that's actually good. And Mortimer has got Flash Powder. So your potions have a 10% chance to stun. So there is a chance we can stun with the potions. Okay, let's continue on. So we now actually have, it's still Mortimer's turn. Now, if Mortimer had... Well, Mortimer actually does still have 2. We can actually now throw this vial. We can't do this anymore. I can throw the Viscosium. This reduces their defense and speed. So at the moment, with Bonefang, if we just press tab again, we can see that the defense is 7. Now let's just throw the Viscosium. Yep, defense went down, speed went down. Now if we go and hover over this one again, we're down now to 4 defense and 0 speed, so it determines the turn order again. So this one is now going to be quite slow. All right, so we'll now move we'll move the rabbit across. We'll just end our turn in here. Actually, I'll just press tab again. Oh, hang on, we are with the rabbit. So with the with his aim and shoot, we need to be sort of like a queen's move position on the actual tiles. So I can't fire from here, but I can fire from here, for example. So let's just go across and then do the aim and shoot. So shoot your trusty pistol for 30 to 33 damage. So this is a lot more damage than we get there, but we're going to be doing between 26 and 29 points, and so that will actually be good. We'll just go and click on that one. All right, and we still actually have more movement, so we're going to move across. I'm then going to use push to push him into this object. So at that point there, we're just going to use push, which doesn't actually use up anything. And push him across. And that was enough to kill it, and we get victory there. So we didn't actually get to use Lynn at all. So let's skip all of the story. I will actually be skipping past the story just so that we get sort of into what's going on. This is the world map that we're now going to be sort of seeing, and we're going to be just playing one of the chapters from the world map. So here we are here at the start of this particular area. Now you can't, I don't think there's a way to zoom out, like it's just sort of funny. This is a pre-release version that I'm playing with, but I can actually go to the edges of the map so we can sort of have a bit of a look. Again, the graphics are really, really nice in the game, like all the illustration. And as I said before, like the combination of game mechanics is good as well. One thing you'll find through here as well is that you've got like there's different rewards. Now these are procedural, so these actually will then give you different ways of playing. So every time you play, even the story events, they will be a little bit different each time. Now we're still very much in the tutorial, so let's just quickly go across to here. This is a character event. Over they go. There was actually something there which we didn't pick up. Or maybe I should have kept on going with the stories and not skipped over. But anyway, okay, so we'll just go continue. I'll just fast forward through these. There we are. And whatever the story was there, we now move across into here. So this is defeat Balder and his allies. So this is actually a character that we need to then go and defeat. And then there is actually a reward there of 2 cups, 2 broken cups. I don't know what that actually is. Now again, this is still very much just introducing the game, but this is a bit more difficult to fight, this particular game, this particular story. So I'm just going to fast forward past all of these. It's a trap. It's a trap. Get out. Come in peace. Yeah, there's a bit of dialogue there. So we need to defeat these characters. Now this is still set, like this is not random. This is, as I said before, what can happen in the battles can still be randomized and it can still be a bit different, but this is actually not that way. So we've got two characters that will then come and attack us. So Lynn has taken a bit of damage. Now Mortimer has taken a bit of damage as well. Both critical hits, unfortunately, for us, which is not good. Not a good start for us. This is not an easy game, if you know what I mean. So we actually have our turn in through this other side. The first one out is Mortimer. Now, why is that? What have we got there? 4. Go to Lynn. Lynn has only got 2. So Greycoat must have 3. Yeah, and these have got 5 and 6. Yeah, so 6 goes first, 5, 4, and then I'm guessing this one must be 1, I guess. Yep, 1. There we are. Now, what we can do is we can unlock these and open these up to have them help us fight. There's a few of them around the map. That would be good. But this battle here is actually a good one because we have to do different things with this. And we have some problems already because of this is where coming in with a doctor rather than the alchemist would be a good thing to do. Now Mortimer can't really move out from here. He is stuck. So we need to pretty much use whatever we possibly can. Let's have a quick look and see what this character does. This is a Rakan, 84 hit points, fairly high attack. There's no retaliation here though, so we can just sort of go through. Let's go and first of all use the Viscosium. We've got 3 points. I can use the Bottled Terror and the Viscosium, or I can use the Tail Swipe. So swing your tail to push all units around you. Actually, that's we can push it back away from there, which would then sort of open things up a little bit. Let's go and do that. Oh, that was not good. That was not clever. I didn't realise it was all the way round. We then actually have Bottled Terror as well. So I'm going to go back across to here. We're going to open this one up. So we've now freed that particular villager. Just skip past that one there. So that will now help us fight. And we've still got Mortimer with a bit of damage here, can still actually do the Bottled Terror. So we'll do 7 to 13. Yeah, we can't do that one, it's a bit too far away. And we did stun that one, so that one can't move with its next turn. So it's not going to get a shot back in through there. So we're now up to the rabbit, so we just go in with Greycoat. Now we do want to start to do damage into this particular one, so let's just move on up. Now, so there can be traps underground here as well. Now, is there any reason to push this over? How far can that one move? It's got 4 movement when it does get to have a shot. Okay, so 4 movement. Is there any retaliation here? No, this disengage. So teleport to a random tile and gain move. Okay, so we have to be a bit careful of the teleportation. Let's just hit it anyway. Critical hit, that was good. And it's actually ended up behind us. This is actually ideal for us because I can now go and use the push and push it into the fence. So it's just a bit of a random thing. Did 19 damage. We've almost got this one down as well. And we can now just move out of the way. So this one here, we want to be sort of out of the way of this one. We don't really want to be close by. So let's just go and move across to here, I think. And we'll end our turn there. Now, he actually is the only one that didn't take any actual damage. And so I don't need to use first aid, but he can only use first aid on himself. So we can't actually do anything with that one there. We'll just end our turn. Now, we've got... now, she can come through and start to use... She's got the shurikens, which will do a lot of damage. I can't do doubles here. I'm going to need to move close to her to finish her off, or do a lot more damage back over here. But this one's not going to have another shot next turn, so let's just go this way. And we have 3 shots. So I've got the, I do actually have an ooze barrel, which is not really going to do me anything. I've got rush, instantly move to the target. We're not going to do that one. We've got 3 shots with the shurikens or the poison blades. Now have a bit of a look. Again, just press tab. And so magical is weak with this unit, so it's going to take more damage from the poison blades. And that's going to be, should be enough to kill it, hopefully. There we go, destroyed. And we can now just go and see what's inside here. So it's going to be dropping random loot when they actually die off. So we'll go and grab that. Just press tab. One artifact, so identified at the Altar of Mysteries to permanently unlock new loot. Collect the reward. Good stuff. There's still one more to collect on this particular map, I think. I'll just press tab just so we don't actually have that one anymore. And I'm just going to now move back out of the way again, just so we can start to rush up to try to open up this one as well. This guy here has got a lot more hit points than any of us. We'll have a look at him in just a minute. In fact, it is his turn right now. Let's have a look at him now and just see what he's actually got. So we've got no retaliation. So Baldur is the character. This is like a playable character eventually in the game, I believe. So 15 damage is fairly high. A lot of defense. Speed is now second last because of the other one that's now been damaged. But anyway, let's just end our turn there. And it's his turn now. But he's not close enough to actually do anything. He's put ooze barrels in himself. This one's coming around to actually hit this particular unit. Bit of slapping. Bit of slap fighting, and we've got one less stun that's gone in there. If we just press tab over this one, actually the stunning is now gone. We're back to Mortimer again. Now, what I'd like to do is actually weaken this particular unit and let them fight it out to a degree. So let's just go across up to Mortimer. We've got 2 actions there for Viscosium. We've got 3 in total, and we can do the Bottle Terror yet again. So we'll move on up. We're almost ready with the Parley. So it allows talking to your enemies in order to cast unique Parley abilities. But let's just go and use the Viscosium on here. Oh, we hit us. It splashed everywhere. Sorry, that was not good. Again, I'm not playing very well here. And then we do actually have this one here. I saw these actually go like a darker colour, and that was not good. All right, so we've now caused Torment to go on this particular unit. If we just press tab again and have a bit of a look, so we've now got Defense -3, Speed -2, and Torment. So its defense has come down slightly. We now actually have the Parley, so target an animal to have a mostly civil conversation. Now, I don't know if we get to see... no, we don't get to see the types of things we actually have, but we can do this one. It doesn't cost anything to actually do a Parley. So target an animal to have a mostly civil conversation. So when we go through, if we have a look at, if we just press tab on this one, just so we can see, this one is strong physical, but then neutral everywhere else. So let's go with Mortimer still selected. Just go and click on the Parley, and we're then going to choose this one here. And so we have then a random selection coming through. Sorry, I'm in the way of that particular one. This one here, we've got Crushing Insult. So this one here is decrease all attributes insecure, further decrease all attributes if they're insecure, I think. This one here is a Piercing Remark. Inflict bleeding +1, enthusiastic inflicts bleeding +2. This one here is, and you can't see it unfortunately in the way there, but can I get out of the way a little bit? Anyway, I'll just sit through there. Heartbreaking Tail. So deals heavy physical damage. Grumpy deals massive physical damage. Now we don't actually have, our personality is enthusiastic, or we have enthusiastic, so we do actually get bleed 2. So that one there is probably going to be the best one. Let's just go with that one there. So we'll use that. Real friends would never force you to gang up on innocent strangers together. Grrr, so does that mean you weren't forced into whatever it just said? It wasn't fast enough to read it. So we've taken a bit of damage off him just with that cutting remark, and we're now ready to come back up. We now actually have what's her name, Lynn, ready to come back in. Now we've got the shurikens. I've only got 4 that I can do through here. I've got an ooze barrel, which I don't really want to be using. Now I can still use that at the back end and then try to open this one up. So let's just go into here. Use the poison blade. Actually, I can use the shurikens as well. So 32 to 36, and this one's 33 to 30. Now this is physical, and this one is magical. So if I hover over that one, we're going to do 18 to 21. If I do the shurikens, It's only 11 to 13, but let's go this way here. So we'll do the poison blades. Critical, and we did poison +4, and we still actually have 2 points left to do things. We've actually got an ooze barrel, which I don't really want to be using. We can blow them up, but let's not do that one. Let's just go and do this rush. Move across to here. So we move across, and then we'll just open this one up. There we go. So we've now got another villager ready to help fight for us. So, I wouldn't mind staying here for a while. They even gave us fresh water and food. Good on you. And you've got work to do. So we end our turn here now. Unfortunately, Greycoat has now been hit with the other instance. What I want to do is I want to push this one in here. So I'm just going to end the turn. It's our turn now. Then we have another villager turn. Then we have Baldur gets his turn. I'm going to move into this tree line and through this other side as well. Now the bush is going to give me a little bit more dodge, a little bit more avoidance from anything that does come back. So I'm just going to go and hit there. So we sort of hide in here. And I think if I press tab over here, you can see that we've now got hidden with +33% dodge. We got hit by the viscous minerals from the alchemist, or the viscous potion, but we do actually now have dodge in here as well. So we'll everything's pretty much okay, although our defense has come down a little bit because of that. So we will now. Oh no, there's no undo. There's no undo. Damn it! I can't undo this. That's a bugger. Okay, so I really can't do anything here. I'm just going to move up closer, and I will then have a shot at him. And I was hoping to push him there as well, but we're not going to do very much damage with this anyway, because it's only physical damage. Now we do actually have Commanding Shout, which I won't bother with. I think I'm just going to leave it where we are, so I'm not going to bother pushing him back up in towards Mortimer. Let's just end our turn. So that one's getting the hidden aspect of it. Taking the bit more poison damage. Now that's pulled that one in with a taunt. And putting more barrels down. That one should attack this character. Critical hit. All right, now we can push. I might actually push this one over. If we use the tail swipe, we push everything around, including Baldur. Now, does Baldur have a push ability that's back? No, that's dodge. No, I'm not seeing any actual push. Actually, no, sorry, we'll just do that again. Push is neutral. Okay, so let's just go and see if we can do this with the tail swipe. So push that one across a little bit. Now that one actually hit the barrel. Not that it really matters that much, but anyway, that's now been hit across that way a little bit. And we then actually just have the bottled terror. So we'll just go and hit this one again. We have to try to weaken it as much as we possibly can to start to sort of withdraw what it can actually then go and do. So we can still move around a little bit. I'm just going to move out of the way. So let's just move up this way a little bit. End our turn. These are traps in here which we have to be careful of. Now we have the shurikens. If we just line up now, if they push us into there, it's going to hurt. But if we go into here, the shuriken has got like a range of 4, which means it can actually hit from there. Oh, it went the wrong way, damn it. Yeah, pathing is not great at this stage. There we go, critical hit, bit of bleeding, bit of poisoning. And yeah, we've got an ooze barrel that we can then put in there as well. Yeah, can't really do it far enough across. So let's not worry about that one. We'll just leave that one where that is. We'll just end our turn. Now with Greycoat, what we want to do is we want to move across into here. There's a couple of things we want to do. We want to push him into the barrel. So I'm just going to move around to here to start with. We're then going to fire, aim and shoot. And then we're going to push into the barrel. Okay, it didn't destroy anything. Oops, there's a lot of reaction shots going on all over the place. I don't know what happened there. I think that was from the barrel. Yeah, that was the barrel blowing up, essentially. Doing a lot of damage. But this one is now really, really low. Let's just use the first aid on ourselves. So we almost back up to full health again. And I can still move off. So I'm just going to move across to here. Oh, hang on. I can move up to here and then open this one up. Alright, so he's down to 4 points because of the poisons. He's going to go after this character. And destroyed it. Come on, you can do it. You can poke at him, that's the way. What's coming through? Now, we only have 4 points here to get rid of Baldur, and Baldur is the main character that we're trying to actually get rid of at this point in time. So just a torment, one torment here will actually then do what we have to do. So we'll just move in close enough to be able to then shoot the barrel, shoot the bottle at him. Can we reach him there? Yep. There we go. So we now actually have a rune that was then gained from here, and we can then apply this and put it into any of the slots. So we've got Close Encounter, Flash Powder, and Death's Whispers. This one here is an epic rune. So when defeated, fully charge your parlay meter. So assign runes permanently to increase your character's power. So runes are lost when replaced. So in this case, I might pop that one on. Probably on Lynn, I think. So we'll just give Lynn that one there. So Lynn will then have last words, because she was closest to dying in that particular one. Oh, here we go, we've got another one as well. Rare gem. Plus a 40% chance to increase attack on target when used. So we have First Aid, Commanding Shout, Tail Swipe. So when we put this one on, we get a 40% chance to increase attack on target. So this one will actually do more damage. Viscosium as well. We've got Rush. Yeah, let's go with the Viscosium to try to get sort of like even more impact. Actually, I'll do the Tail Swipe. So this will be a gem-powered Tail Swipe now. There we go, victory on that particular battle. The battle was won. So we then actually have a story, like basically where he becomes our prisoner. We'll just continue. The massive form of Baldur rests against a tree stump, breathing heavily. With trembling arms, the tiger tries to get up, his knees buckling under his own weight. The Bone Fang will never kneel again, says Baldur. You better end Baldur before he ends you, miserable, and he whimpers away. Lynn casually pokes Baldur on a raw-looking patch of skin, urging him to shut up. Hold on, sir, last chance, she says. Baldur, let us go in peace, and we'll let you go leave in one piece too. Greycoat says, Lynn, they might seek retribution. We cannot just let them go. Lynn says, sir, with all due respect, I'm no longer a soldier, and neither are you, and this is not a battlefield. So the branches and brushes sways as a large group of animals appears from the trees, spears and claws at the ready. So a rhino steps forward from the group, her intricate robes and trinkets clearly signifying her importance among the rest. So this is Mogra. So indeed it is not. It is no place for such things in Stranglevine. Baldur, you should know better. Baldur says, Mogra says, please follow us outside of Spirit Song Refuge. There is no room for violence or its promise here. Lynn says, I'd rather just collect our people and be on our way if you don't mind. So the imposing rhino laughs gently. And you misunderstand me. This is not a request. You shall come and we shall talk, and by the spirits perhaps you shall live. To end the battle. So that's the, there we go. We've seen a lot of the sorts of little bits of loot. Now these are random. You get choice as to how things go. You got different attributes where things actually go up for your characters. So they will then sort of, we've got upgrades in through here, for example. So we can then go and start to choose rune choices. We've got attributes that sort of come through here as well. Opportunistic, each time you land a critical hit, gain +1 power or inspiring accuracy. After dealing range damage, gain 1 parlay. Your line attacks have +1 range. I might just go that way there. This is Mortimer. Again, a bit of an upgrade in through this other side. So synergy, after playing a buff, heal yourself for a small amount. That would be useful for him. We've got him or her. I think it's a him. So Mortimer, that's a male name. So Forbidden Research. Each time you cast a potion ability, gain attack. And then Curse Touch. Whenever you apply a status effect on an enemy, deal additional mental damage. God, there's some good stuff in here, actually. I might go that way. And then we've got Lynn. So we've got nimble-footed, and so it shows us what the current runes are. So we've got nimble-footed. Each time you dodge, gain 1 power. Pillage. Whenever you deal damage to an enemy, loot them if you haven't already. And neutering blades. So after dealing damage to an enemy, remove a random buff from them. Yeah, that could be good. Let's just go with that one there. So we'll just go and collect that one. It should have been choose a rune to replace. So hang on, we have to choose one of these. Okay, I don't really want to do that in that case. We might skip the upgrade. We've got Death's Whispers. Last Words. Yeah, actually, maybe we get rid of the one that we just found while we were in there. Let's go and replace Last Words. We can only have 2 at this stage. We haven't got the unlocks. Identified at the Altar of Mysteries to permanently unlock new loot. There we go. We'll collect that reward. So you can see down through there we've got like artifacts or rare items that can be used at the Arcane Forge to craft runes and gems. We have 150 gold, no wisdom at this point in time. And so then we just continue on over this. In this case here we've got like a random event that will then come up, probably a bit more procedural. But I'm sort of out of time here, guys, so I'm going to actually leave this one here. But I think you get the idea as to how to play the game. Like, it's actually a fairly engaging game to play. You can see that there's a superficial way to play the game, and then there's depth and layers upon layers of sort of more intricate ways to approach it. I quite like the fact that you've got like particularly the 3 different ways of dealing different types of damage and the weaknesses that they then present. So there's some interesting ways you can then try to set the game up, which I think you can play it very simply and superficially, or you can play it, with a degree of tactical sort of complexity as well. So it's sort of one of those games that is quite easy to pick up, but a bit more difficult to actually master. I hope that's been enjoyable and helpful. If you've been thinking about the game and sort of maybe, I know that people have heard about it because people have mentioned it to me in my live streams that it was coming. So I know that people are aware of the game. Hope this actually helps you make your decision as to whether to buy the game or not. As I say, it's got the board game credentials, not that it's a remake of that other board game, but it certainly has that the pure mechanics that do come from games that are inspired by board games. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next exciting episode of something. I don't know what it'll be. And again, a special thank you to Ravage Games and also Grumpy Owl Games for sponsoring this particular video.